Normally, if you sit in the Controlinator, you see your character gripping these levers and sitting in a seat, which you might not want for your creation. It looks fine if you're controlling heavy machinery, like this truck, or an arcade machine that has levers, but for something simple, like a pizza truck that already has a steering wheel, or something that isn't mechanical, like this jelly ball, it will look better invisible. I'm going to show you how to hide the Controlinator and only have the player be visible. It's not as simple as setting visibility in play modes off. That's just going to make the Controlinator and anything in it invisible. We wanted to only hide the Controlinator, not the player too. We're going to do that by making a thin piece of sticker panel and placing the Controlinator on it. When you place the Controlinator, you want to make sure it's in the center so it looks like the player is actually sitting inside the vehicle, not outside of it. And then I'm just going to set this back to yes. And then place an opacity tweaker on the sticker panel. Place it off to the side, because if you place it in the center, it's going to replace the Controlinator. So place it and set opacity to 0%. Before you glue it to the vehicle, make sure your sack person isn't floating. If you sit in it right now, it's going to look a bit weird. We're going to fix this by lowering it, so just move it down a bit. Now, when we test it, it actually looks like he's sitting on it. We can glue it now, but it's not touching the object, and we can't glue it to the wheel, or else the wheel can't turn. We're just going to use a small square sticker panel that's touching both the vehicle and the thinner sticker panel. Set the opacity to 0%, and then glue it to the vehicle. Now the Controlinator will be invisible, but you can still see your sack person. In case you're wondering, I have my wheels set as forwards backwards, but speed scale would also work and would give the player more control over the speed. Make sure to wire a button, like triangle, to the eject input so the player can exit it in play mode. I recommend using invisible Controlinators for vehicles or rideable objects. But if you're just making something simple like a chair or couch or anything that stays in place, you can use sitting animations, and I have a tutorial on 3 different ways to make those. But for vehicles that move around or rotate, you would use a Controlinator to make the player stay in place. These quick tips are a new series I'm doing where I show how to do simple things, so leave a comment if you have a question about creating an LBP Planet.